So this is going to be a story time about how my ex turned out to be a crazy stalker. We're going to call him Crazy Man because the name is fitting. So I met him back in 2019. He hit me up on Facebook and he was like, he wanted to get to know me. And I was like, okay, cool, because I was just in my era of just doing anything that I wanted to do. So we were talking. He was messaging me back and forth, yada, yada, yada. And then he was just like, do you want to link? Baby, when you ask me to link, no, I don't. Conversation gone. Like, I'm a whole ghost at this point. So we did that a few times, and apparently he didn't like it, so we stopped talking. Now, mid-2020 is when he hit me up, and we started talking again. And it was one day he was just like, can I get some time with you, yada, yada, yada. And I wasn't doing anything. So I went and I saw him. He picked a public park, which was cool by me because it's public, and he might be a schmurder. Now, we're talking at the park for a few hours, and then I'm like, hey, I got stuff to do, so I don't know what you about to do, but I'm about to go. So he was like, I hope I get to see you again. And I'm like, maybe, maybe not. I mean, his vibes was good. So I go left, he go right pretty much. I get halfway down the road, and I get a phone call from him. He's saying, I hate to bother you, but can I get $20? Because I don't got enough gas to make it back home. Now, that should have been the red flag, but it wasn't. So I sent the money. Now everything was cool. And he was just like, so let's spend some time together, yada, yada, yada. I had a roster, and I had things I had to do and people I needed to see. So me and him didn't get a lot of time. So one day he got a room. He was just like, you want to come over and spend time with me? And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't got nothing to do, so that's what I do. I go over there, I go see him, we hunch. And this is when shit started to go downhill. So I noticed right off the bat that every time we're hanging out, this man always wants to hold my phone. Like, I told him, me and him are just having fun, so don't get any ideas. So one night we're hanging out. We get a room because I didn't know his living situation, and I didn't want him to know about mine. I didn't want him to know where I live because I got a child. And so I wake up in the middle of the night, and he's holding my phone, and he looks upset. And so I'm like, what's wrong with you? He was like, so you dealing with other people? I'm like, yeah, why not? And he was just like, because you're my girlfriend, so you cheating on me? I said, whoa, partner, pump your brakes. When did I start cheating on you? He was like, because me and you have hunched and everything, so you're my girlfriend now. I said, that information was not related to me, so how was I supposed to know that I was your girlfriend? And plus, I don't even want to be your girlfriend. Like, we're just having fun. Like, you're just for the moment. And that made him upset even more. And so he starts throwing stuff. That's why you can't be a good person to a black female. Yeah, just the whole shebang. Now, it didn't make me upset because, like I said, I was doing what I wanted to do, and I was going to have fun regardless. So he was just like, you going to stop talking to everybody in your phone, or you going to stop talking to me? And I said, I choose the latter. Like, I want to be out the door. Now, you would have thought that would have been enough for me to walk away, but it clearly wasn't. So over the course of a few months after that situation, he will always bring it up, and it will always be an argument, yada, yada, yada. But he was so negative. Like, I'm talking about like a button could have popped off his shirt, and it's like the end of the world. Like, oh, my life is this. Nobody loves me. Like, oh, I don't want to be here no more. That type of negative. And I'm like, I don't want to be around that. So fast forward like a few months.
Damn, she put it on my boy. She put it on him. She said when she got some pussy, he like, we go together. Oh, shit.
Then Father's Day was rolling around. Me and him do not have kids, but he got a kid with somebody else. He had this whole sad story about how he was not going to get anything for his first Father's Day, yada, yada, yada. So I said, what do you want? And he said one of them. And I said, okay, cool. I took him to the store, gave him my card to go in the store and buy it. So he comes out, everything is cool for like 2 to 3 weeks. Now, he calls me one day upset about the same situation. I'm like, bro, I'm not even about to argue about this in the morning. But he was like, let's have a conversation face to face so we can get over it and we can move on. I said, okay, cool. So I go pick him up. Now, When I pick him up, he is immediately on my ass about this situation, and we're just constantly arguing yet again. So we get to the park where we originally met, and he gets out the car, slams the door, and says, I am going to regret this. I said, okay, got it. I was in my car, so I went to drive off, and he was like, oh, you're going to leave me like everybody else does? I'm like, yeah, you can find your own fucking way home. And he turns it up a notch, and he's just like, you will never meet a person like me, and you need to remember this moment because your words have an effect on people. So he walks off into the park somewhere. I didn't see where he went, and he's still yelling in the phone, this is your fault, this is your fault. Then the said goes off, and I'm like, ain't no way this boy did this at this park. So I'm like, now I'm responsible for going to go find him so I can report it. And now I'm walking through the park looking. Like, I walked for maybe like 30 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm over this. But while I'm walking, I noticed that I keep seeing something in my peripheral, like a shadowy figure in the tree line of the park. And I didn't think much of it, so I said, you know what, I'm about to go back to my car. They'll find him when they find him. Go back to my car. Halfway back to my car, who pops out the woods talking about, I have to teach you a lesson. Now, I don't even play like that because I deal with my own mental shit. But it's like, bro, why are you even doing that? And so after that, he immediately goes back on the defense, and we're arguing yet again. Now, his reasoning for acting like that over the course of a few weeks, he was just like, oh, I'm just dealing with a lot, yada freaking yada. And I'm like, cool, don't do it again, pretty much. So it was one night, it was like maybe like almost midnight, and he was like, can you come out and see me? And I'm like, no, because I got my kid, and I don't move when I have my kid. Like, that's not happening. Oh, you can bring your child with you. What I was like bringing my child outside almost at midnight, that's a hard negative. Like, it's not happening. So he gets upset. Next thing I know, I start getting these text messages from these random numbers, and one was supposedly his mom, and the other one was supposedly his homeboy. And they're talking about, have you seen Crazy Man? Have you seen Crazy Man? And I'm like, no. Well, Crazy Man said that he was coming to see you. He did not come see me, pretty much. And so I'm talking back to them, but I noticed that he never replied to my last message. So they're like, oh, we can't find him. Oh, we see his wallet and one of his phones in the yard, but we can't find him. What have you done with him? Where is he at? You are a bad influence on him. He loves you and you treat him like shit. Just going down like a whole negative road. And I'm just like, I'm not even interested in it. I'm like, because he's not with me. So I don't know what happened to him. Now, maybe 15 minutes after I said, I don't know what happened to him, his friend says, oh, we found him in the middle of a cornfield, sitting next to a corn stalk, like a corn stalk, with pills all around him, and it is my fault. So I said, that don't even make sense. But because I had so many questions after that, but I didn't ask him. So I'm like, okay, so cool, call 911. Like, what else you want me to do? I'm all the way over here, like 45 minutes away. So what do you want me to do? So these numbers continue to text me throughout the night, but he never texts me back. So until that next morning, he texted me. He was just like, how are you? And I'm like, how are you, since you the one who had a situation, yada freaking yada. And he was just like, oh, no, it wasn't nothing like that. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he was just like, well, I felt some type of way because you didn't want to spend time with me and you don't love me no more. And all, like, I didn't love him. I didn't want to spend time with him. I never had time for him. Just a whole bunch of bullshit. And he said, I didn't feel like living anymore. And I said, so this is your second time trying to off yourself because of me. Make it make sense. Now, throughout the course of all this time, I did not notice how often he would ask me for money. It'd be like $250 here, $50 there, yada yada for this and yada yada for that. And it was just like, then it dawned on me, because one day he asked me for money and he was just like, I told him no. I'm like, why do I always have to give you money if you have a job? Well, I don't have a job no more because I quit said job because it was too hot. You work in construction in the middle of fucking August. Of course it's hot. What you mean? But I said, that's not my problem that you quit your job. And it's not my problem to fund your lifestyle because that's for you to do. And he's going to say, well, if I don't have said money by today, then I'm going to have to get my ass beat. And I said, what do you mean? He was like, they're going to jump me because I owe people money and they're going to jump me. But it's okay because I've been here before and I can take the punches and the bruises and everything like that. He tries to make me feel bad, but I said, I'm not funding anything anymore. So we didn't talk the rest of that day. Then he calls me the next morning talking about all his bruises and scratches and how he took it like a man. How he took it like a man. It's not funny because it's really not. But I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And then he immediately asked me for money. And I said, no, sir, I'm not giving you no more money. So this is about November, around November. My birthday was coming up. And I never have any plans for my birthday because I just don't celebrate it like that. And I already knew that I was going to spend my birthday with my sister because that's what we do. Her birthday is 5 days before mine. So we just spend time together pretty much. And I told him this, and he was like, you always spending time with your sister. I want to do something special for you, yada, yada, yada. So I said, what do you want to do? He said, I want to take you out of town. I want to take you out of town, go have a nice dinner, have some drinks, lay up in the room, and just make memories together. And I said, oh, that sounds nice. And he said, I done set everything up. I'm only missing one thing. And I said, what are you missing? He was like, your card to pay for everything. Your card to pay for everything. And I said, you got me fucked up because I am not paying for my own birthday getaway. Like, what? Now, after I told him I was not giving him the money or my card info to pay for this getaway, he went completely off. And it's like, oh, why are you treating me like this? I want to do something special for you. But I mean, if I wanted to pay for it myself, then I would just take myself on said adventure. But I don't want to, so that's why I'm not doing it. So my birthday comes around, and the whole day I am with my sister. He is constantly calling, texting, just calling me every name under the sun. And it's like, bro, you're doing entirely too much. But he continues on into the wee hours of the morning. And then he was like, come see me. And I'm like, see you for what? He was just like, because I need to talk to you. I'm at this park in the dark, and I need to talk to you because I'm having a bad moment. So I go talk to him, and he's crying. I love you so much. I just want everything to work. I'm sorry for ruining your birthday. Yada freaking yada. Can you take me back to my room so me and you can talk? We go back to the room. It's 2 beds in there. I'm on one bed and he's on the other. Please come over here and just hold me because I just need you to hold me. And it's like, bro, what's up with you? So for some odd reason, I get really sleepy after he made us drinks and stuff. I'm not implying anything because I don't know. I go to sleep. He goes through my phone. I wake up maybe like 4 in the morning and he's just sitting there with my phone. And I said, oh, so you went through my phone again. And I went, used the bathroom, come back, and he was just like, so you're still talking to them? And I said, of course I am, because I'm not your girlfriend. Like, I'm not your girlfriend. But this situation is over. Like, I don't want to talk to you no more. Like, we're done. Everything is over. So he proceeds to throw a whole temper tantrum. I'm talking about throwing things, breaking windows, everything. But I know that the room is not in my name, so I don't have to pay for none of it. And so he leaves. I stay there until checkout time, and then I leave. Now, we didn't talk for like a month after that night. And I thought everything was cool. I thought everything was cool. Now, after that month of silence, it was beautiful because me and him was just not talking, and I was just so happy that we were not talking. Now, one night I get a call like 1 in the morning, and it's him. So I answer the call, and he just sounds so sad. And I'm like, what do you want, type thing. And he was just like, I just have to really tell you something and why I've been missing for like a month. And I'm like, I mean, you don't necessarily have to tell me this because me and you are broken up. And he proceeds to say, I haven't been talking to you because I had to deal with my own stuff that I had going on, and I got some news from the doctor. I said, so what news did you get? He was just like, I have cancer. He said, I know you don't want to deal with me anymore, but I just had to let you know that I have cancer and I don't want you to feel pity for me and everything like that. And I said, oh my God, you have cancer. Then it plays on the empathetic person that I am. And I'm like, oh, I want to be there for this person and everything like that. So I proceed to say, well, we can be friends and I can take you to your appointments and everything like that. Mood completely changes. Completely changes. Now, Christmas rolls around, January rolls around, February rolls around. And I started to notice that there's no talk about appointments. And I said, so I asked him, I said, so when do you go to your appointments for like chemo or anything to like talk to the doctor? Oh, I don't have to. And I said, why? And he says, because the doctor told me I have the curable kind of cancer. I said, so they don't have to like go in and take nothing out? He said, no, I have the curable kind of cancer. What curable kind? Because as far as I know, there isn't a cure for cancer yet. Now, immediately after he says this, it dawns on me that he played me. So I proceed to say, well, it's good to know that you don't have cancer. So I'm going to go this way, and hopefully you go that way, and I hope you have a good life. And, you know, everything is everything with all your endeavors. Like, you know, everything is everything. Immediately after I sent that text message, messages from other random numbers started coming up. His homegirl, his friend, his mama, his other homeboy. And it's like, it's him. Because that's when it dawned on me that all these messages that are talking about the same situation that we're talking about are coming from him. And it's calling me all kinds of names under the sun and everything like this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Just block the numbers. Don't worry about it. So maybe like 2 weeks later, I get on Facebook and I see this other profile of me and talking about how I'm a bad mom. He posts news that he took when I was asleep and my child, and talking about he was going to call CPS because I was hunching around my daughter and I was doing this and I was doing that. People that knew me, like my actual family members, were hitting me up asking me about said profile, and I said report it or block it because that is not me. That is Crazy Man. And they were like, okay, cool, and everything like that. Now, this is where, like, because you already, like, you put my child out there and you put my child in a situation, and I felt some type of way. But I said, nope, I'm not going to feed into it, because if you feed into it, it's just only going to get worse. But then I didn't realize if I ignored it, it was going to get even worse. So that continued to happen. He would make profile after profile, fake profiles of me, then fake profiles of concerned friends. Then he even went and said on the profile that I gave him HIV. And then I thought to myself, you're telling people that I gave you HIV, but that means nobody is going to fuck with you because you have HIV, stupid. But I said, ignore it. Just let it be what it is. So then he starts calling me constantly. I'm talking about one day I had over 200 missed calls and just as many text messages from him. And I'm like, there is no way this person is this unhinged. Like, what the fuck? Now, mind you, after the whole Facebook situation happened, I decided I don't care to talk to this person anymore. So maybe 2 to 3 weeks after that, I get a text message while I'm at work doing my precious job. And it says, I need to talk to you. And I said, whatever we have to talk about, don't worry about it because I don't need to know. So that was the end of that. And I blocked the number after that. So maybe an hour or two after that, the security guy who I'm cool with at the job came over and he was like, I need to talk to you. I said, okay, cool. So we're talking. And he was like, do you know Crazy Man? I said, yeah, I know Crazy Man. How you know Crazy Man? And he was just like, because it was a guy in orientation the other day and he kept telling him that he needed to be on this shift because of you. I said, oh, he came to orientation. He said, yeah. He applied. They gave him a job. He came to orientation. I said, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I don't want that man anywhere around me. He was like, why? So I told him the whole spiel. And I showed him all the Facebook messages and everything. He was just like, so you want me to handle it? I said, of course I want you to handle it. So even though he got the job, he came to orientation, they still terminated him because why? They do not do that at their job. They don't tolerate that. So, he texted me off a different number and he said, this is crazy, man. I need to talk to you. And I said, talk to me about what? He was like, there's no way that you, did you have something to do with the situation at the job? And I said, yes, I did. I said, because you're not going to talk to me or treat me the way that you have treated me. And I have been nothing but good to you. Like, whatever. And he was like, you're going to regret it. And so that was the end of the conversation. Now, I'm from the country, so I like sitting outside on my days off and like looking at the sky and all that nature. Loved it. So I'm sitting outside and I keep seeing this one car pass by multiple times, multiple occasions. I keep seeing it. And I'm like, who is this? Because where I used to live, I know pretty much everybody, like where their car is going, who's visiting who, all of that stuff, because I'm always outside. So the car would pass by one time, come back one time, and stop right at my mailbox. Stop right there. And I said, who the fuck is this? So eventually, after the third day, I kind of got pissed off and a little scared. Because I'm like, who is this? Like, who are you? So I would go back in the house and my phone would ring because I would leave my phone in the house and just enjoy being outside. So I would go back and I would have missed calls and text messages. And one day I decided to listen to the voicemails that this person left on my phone. It was like, I know exactly where you stay now. It's nice seeing you outside. I know where you stay now. So until you talk to me, I will come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day because I have nothing but time. So I said, there is no way. Now, I get to my daughter's school maybe like an hour early, just so I can get a good spot in a line. Now, the way the school is set up, it's the school line right here, and then it's the parking lot right next to it. So he would just, I would see the same car driving around the parking lot, and there will be a voice message saying, now I know where your daughter is during the day, and I'll be back up here tomorrow around the same time because I know that's the time you get here until you talk to me. Now, my thing is, now you pushing it. And so now I feel as though I need to contact the police. But I said I was going to throw that part out there without actually doing it because maybe he just seeking attention at this point. Now, he would always say, if you don't talk to me, I'm going to show up at your house. I'm going to come bang on your door. And one night, my daughter was not there with me, but one night I hear knocking on the door. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not, because I know nobody's coming over here because it's nighttime and I don't allow company at night. And so I didn't even go to the door at all. I didn't go to the door. So the next morning I get up and he's sitting on the porch, chilling, just sitting there. And I said, listen, bro, you gotta get the fuck gone. Now, he got up and left like nothing was wrong. But in that instant, I'm like, you know what? It's either me or him at this point. So that day, I got in my car and he was sure enough to follow me. I drove to the police station. I didn't call, like I didn't make no report or anything. I just went there. But when he saw that that's the parking lot I was pulling into, he completely like just let me go, if that makes sense. So maybe like a month after that, I get a text message from him saying, I need to talk to you because it's very important. And I said, what do you want? He said, listen, I have swelling on the brain and the doctors have given me 3 days to live. I said, you know what? Hit me up on the 4th day and maybe we can have a conversation. You don't care about me? No, I don't. I don't care about you at this point. And then he's going to say, well, I'm going to pack my stuff and I'm going to go to the hospital. My thing is, if you already had swelling on the brain, you wouldn't even be able to communicate with me, let alone diagnose yourself with swelling on the brain and give yourself 3 days to freaking live. So, I blocked the last number, and I just let everything die down. I let everything die down. Until this day in 2025, this man still calls me every other month, or he'll text my phone and say, um, you're still being a hoe, and you're still doing this, and you're still doing that. And it's honestly the most annoying thing in the world. But then again, it's like, I don't want to change my number because it's my number, you know? But it's just weird because I don't even know why that situation went left the way it was. But it did.
Damn. Ladies, guess you gotta be careful who you get that pussy to. God damn, my boy turned out to be crazy. God damn. The power of that P, boy, she must have put it down on that nigga in the goddamn bedroom, boy. God damn. That's pretty much all I can say. Shit, I would have called the police. Fill out a, well, I don't know if he's still popping into the house. Fill out a, restraining order. Shit. Yeah, well, I think a restraining order, you can honor a restraining order by them contacting you as well, right? So, yeah, put in a restraining order on his ass, call the police. Shit, let's go from there. Because if he's still texting you to this day, god damn! You know what I'm talking about? But y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. And it's just how my ex turned into a stalker. It wasn't really your ex. It was like a little fling type thing. He just gave it to the wrong nigga, man. And the nigga just crazy. He making up shit on himself and everything for him to talk to the goddamn girl. God damn. Damn. She must got that fire. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me, man. As always, smash that like button on your way out. And make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. It's your boy Ray. Big play.